Grant. I call the November 23rd, 2020 meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion for the approval?
Make a motion to approve minutes from November 9th.
Second.
Okay, before we do, and I probably should have did that earlier, I noticed one small error. My name is misspelled when we do members present.
okay.
So make a move.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from November 9th with the correction of the misspelled name.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, first order of business. An ordinance for two readings by title only and passage. Bill number 2020-69, an ordinance accepting improvements construction within Oak Acres 8 subdivision in Mexico, Missouri. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor, this ordinance is for the acceptance of the improvements that have now been made and ready to be accepted by the city to cover the details of all the public improvements in the area. And the ordinance, we will turn to Drew Williford, staff engineer.
Good evening, Council. As Bruce mentioned, the city received a request to accept ownership and maintenance of certain facilities in the Oak Acres 8 subdivision, and I've got a visual aid here representing where this is at in the city. It's east of Business 54, south of Cunningham Road, at the end of Redwood Drive, so this involves an extension of that. These improvements include 592 centerline feet of concrete pavement, Redwood Drive, 3 manholes and 1 clean-out, part of the sanitary sewer system, 529 linear feet of sanitary sewer pipe, 2 curb inlets, and 240 linear feet of storm sewer pipe. It's good to note here that these all passed a review in the design phase and also were inspected by the city, and no issues were found during either of those phases. So staff would recommend proceeding with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance, and it has been posted the required length of time. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for first reading of bill number 2020-69.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Bill number 2020-69, ordinance accepting improvements constructed within the Oak Acres 8 subdivision in Mexico, Missouri. I move for the second reading of bill number 2020-69.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Second reading bill number 2020-69, ordinance accepting improvements constructed within the Oak Acres 8 subdivision in Mexico, Missouri. I move for passage of bill number 2020-69.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, now for the claims. First in that area.
Move we pay the claims. Are we going to pay the claims before we do the reports or afterwards?
They kind of got out of order, but we can take it either way you want.
Go ahead. Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, now for staff report. Purchase of 2 patrol vehicles for the Department of Public Safety. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, we took bids for the annual purchase of the vehicles, as well as reviewing the state bids, and to cover the details of the bids and prices received, Bryce Mesko, Assistant Director of Public Safety.
Hello, Bryce Mesko, Public Safety. The annual budget this year allowed for $69,000 for the purchase of 2 patrol vehicles. Advertisements for bids were placed in the Mexico Ledger on the city's website and mailed to 6 vendors who had submitted bids in the past or expressed interest. 3 bids were received. Last year, we purchased Dodge Durango SUVs, which do make it easier for officers to work with our always increasing amount of equipment that we have. And as you know, the city's purchasing policy allows for utilization of cooperative procurement programs, or like state bids, to save money. We received 3 bids. One was from Don Brown Chevrolet for 2 2021 Chevy Tahoes for $77,025. Landmark Dodge submitted a bid for 2 2021 Dodge Durangos for $77,939.50. And then Lou Fuse Ford out of Chesterfield, who had the state bid for the past couple of years, actually advised us they had a couple of new 2020 Dodge Durangos at last year's state bid price, which would be $65,821.27. All of these are with trade-ins of 2 of our vehicles, which one of them is a 2012 Tahoe with 97,000 miles on it, and one is a 2011 Chevy Impala with 75,000 miles on it. So the staff recommends that council approve the purchase of 2 2020 Dodge Durangos from Lou Fuse Ford of Chesterfield, Missouri, under the cooperative purchasing provisions of the state of Missouri, subject to the dealer's ability to deliver them in an acceptable length of time. I can answer any questions possible.
What do we get for trade-ins on these?
I don't have the particulars on each one.
I had it, I don't have it in front of me. It was, I want to say with both of them combined, it was right around 10,000.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have those. I didn't.
I forget the exact number, but that sticks in my mind somewhere right around there.
Was the Durango what you like? You like the Tahoe?
Yeah, so we got the 2 Durangos last year. Everybody seems to feel that those are meeting our needs and everything, so yeah, I think we had that Tahoe for a long time, but yeah, the Durangos were fine.
Question, it says in the bid that the 2 current production model year vehicles, did everybody else know they could bid a 2020 instead of a 2021?
And that part I don't know as well. I wasn't actually available when the bids got opened, but yeah.
It certainly would have an effect if...
Sure.
It was just listed as new model, so...
It says here, 2 current production model year 4-door, 4-wheel drives. Which 2 current production models would be 21s. Just questioning, that's... Yeah, but it said 2 new models.
Well, they contacted us, right? Asked us if they could bid the 2020?
We contacted them because of state bidding, that we can do that as far as, that just gives us another option to bid from, and when those prices are better, we accept those.
What is y'all's pleasure?
Well, I'm not opposed to the purchase, I'm just opposed to the wording. We've discussed before about things that are not worded exactly right, but 2 current production model years would be 21s, not 20s, I guess. Just want to make sure everybody played on the same ground, same game floor.
Well, you came under bid, that you...
Right, yeah, that's, and I guess that's the only way it would work, too, at least as far as we know.
I move that we accept the purchase price of 2 patrol vehicles for the Department of Safety from Lou Fuse Ford in Chesterfield, Missouri.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yep.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
No.
Okay. Now, the staff report. Accepting the bid for the Missouri Builder Services for the replacement of a flat roof at the wastewater treatment plant.
Your Honor, this is a roof replacement and of a roof that's leaking and past its time, and to cover the bids received, once again, Drew Wilford.
Good evening, council. On the screen, I'm going to show you the building that is involved here. It's the Finals Building, which houses the return and waste activated sludge pumps and the corresponding electronics that go with it. So the city advertised and opened sealed bids for replacing the membrane roof on this building. We received 5 bids as part of this process, with Missouri Builders Services being the lowest and best bid, coming in at $13,232. And the project is going to be covered through a carryover fund from the previous fiscal year, and it is in the wastewater department budget. And as such, the staff would recommend council proceed with approving the bid for Missouri Builders Services in the amount of $13,232. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I don't have any questions. I'm just going to make a comment, though, that I find it kind of strange that we just had this discussion with the police cars, but we did a bid not long ago over at Garfield and just changed the whole project without bidding to Flowmaster, and this is the 3rd project since we've had that they've bid way higher. So I would say again, I think if we would actually bid that project rather than just say, here you go, because we had something else come up, because we decided not to do the parking lot, I think in this bid was several thousand. We just did something a couple weeks ago, Flowmaster was several thousand more. So, just saying, I think that we could have probably saved some thousands there, so.
Could you explain something on here a little better?
Sure.
It says 2 of the submitted bids included an added cost for an air membrane. What 2 were that? Is that one we're taking, or is that something, was that something that's necessary, or?
It's necessary for the bid that was submitted, so each one may have a different proposal for the membrane system itself. Weathercraft Incorporated was one, and I forget the other one, I apologize, but the premise would be based on their design, if you want to put it that way. They required that air membrane to be in there for the purposes of energy efficiency and such.
Okay, so the Missouri Builders doesn't have the air membrane?
And I don't recall the second one. I'm sorry. I can get back with you on that for sure. But if I tried to recall and I was wrong, I'd hate to feed you wrong information here. So.
But this will be warranted, right? They will have some sort of warranty on the Missouri Builder Service one, right?
I believe it's there is a warranty. I do know that, and I don't recall the length of the warranty, but in our bid, actually, one of our lines on the bid actually states, proposal should state a lump sum price and the warranty period. So the warranty period does vary by the product that's being offered, but it does.
Have you used Missouri Builders? Have we used Missouri Builders before?
We have actually on 2 other projects, and they've done good work at the wastewater treatment plant.
Well, there's a considerable difference between their bid and some of these others, so.
Yep.
I move that we accept the bid of Missouri Builders Service Incorporated for $13,232.
Second.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Childers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, and now for the appointments to Zoning Board of Adjustments. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. Jacob Schellebarger has resigned his term on the board. His term expired as well. He moved outside of the city limits. Murray Purcell's term ended in June. Murray wishes to be reappointed, and we also received application from Lou Milan. This is a city manager appointment, so therefore, council, I would appoint Murray Purcell to a new 5-year term, renew his term for ending in 2025, and appoint the new interest, Lou Milan, to the alternate position, and again, that is for a 5-year term as well, ending in June of 2025. And I would ask that council concur with the recommended appointments.
I make a motion to concur with the city manager's appointments to the zoning board of adjustments.
Second.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, now for comments. I think before we go too far with our individual comments, we were approached about possibly our support. We're deciding if we wanted to support the mask advisory from the Audrain County Health Department. And wanted to see about some of the conversation for that.
Yes, Your Honor, we did receive, after the agenda was set and council packets were out, information from Audrain County Health that they have basically put out a mask advisory to run from November 12, 2020 until January 15 of 2021. They have asked that the cities within the county and businesses and organizations and churches and chambers and everything else basically support a mask advisory. It is a voluntary endorsement as far as a voluntary effort by the public on the health protocol to wear them or not. It's not mandating anything. And they were asking if the city would support Audrain County in their mask advisory order.
So normally if it's this I was reading their sample, if normally resolutions are something we do as like an ordinance type, or is this
We would do it as a resolution. It would not be an ordinance. It'd be a resolution. And we put a draft resolution together and attached to this information. Because of the time frame and an emergency, if you wish to consider it, you may consider it, or council, if you wish just to express individual support for it, to have this added to the next council meeting, we can do that as well. Or not support, whatever your choices are.
As a council member, not the council, I support their advisory. I'm not necessarily supportive of a resolution at this time, but I certainly know that we have problems in Audrain County, and I know the Audrain County Health Department has their hands full, and I support this advisory to wear mask in public outings when you can't stay 6 feet apart.
why would you support as an individual, not as have the
I
city?
can't speak for you all.
Oh, okay.
I can only
So
speak.
what becomes I guess, my ignorance is, what's the difference between us supporting it in council in our comments versus doing a resolution?
Well-
Because either one of them are not going to hold any impact, right?
It's probably going to come down to about the same enforcement. I mean, it's an endorsement of support. If you wish to do so, if you wanted to do a simple motion of that, or you want to do the resolution, or you want to bring that back, again, it's a voluntary. I think what it really is what they're trying to do overall is to certainly bring awareness to it and why it should be done. And the more public bodies that talk about it and express support for it, maybe the more response you'll get to do it.
Yeah, and I was just looking over this resolution. It does not mandate anything in it. So, and I know I've been approached by a couple of people in the community, and I told them we really didn't do an ordinance per se, and the fact that that was not really enforceable, being realistic. But personally, I think it would be good for us as a body to say that we are highly supportive. We really do support people doing the right thing and wearing their mask. It's not, like you said, I don't think it's mandating anything here. But I think, like they said, a lot of our community is beginning to feel we need to make a statement as a council. That's just the gist that I've been getting lately, and I've been starting to get calls, and I had a call today from someone who just moved here from Columbia. I had a call the other week. I thought she might even show up today, to be honest. and they're really looking at those numbers and are being concerned. So I think, like they said, sometimes when we say something individually, it's still individually, but when we say it as a collective body, it shows that we're standing together, more so.
Then likewise, I had 2 calls from 2 business people in the last couple of days being very concerned about what we might do about a mask ordinance and how it affects their livelihood for the next Christmas season. And if anybody has been watching the news on Buffalo, New York, and what happened up there with the mask thing, and how it's gotten into a big issue.
Well, that's why I said, we said this was a resolution, not an ordinance. And the resolution does not, like we said, does not mandate. I think it's just more of a gentle nudge saying, hey, we really do recommend this. We think this is what's best because we want to keep our businesses open. We want people to be able to enjoy the holiday season. We want them to go about their business as close to normal as humanly possible. And one of the best ways that the government, is saying it, not government, but like the health department is saying, is if we, wear the mask and we social distance.
I don't object to supporting the resolution.
So Councilman Miller, are you saying like some sort of, like within a business of something happening because someone does not wear a mask?
No, because people are staying away because they don't want to wear a mask.
So you're saying people are not shopping because they're...
Shopping online and missing in Mexico businesses, yes, sir. Several people who have businesses have asked me, or told me that they're beginning to feel the effect of... I know we don't have a mandate in town, and I support the idea of a mask. I just don't support a resolution. I mean, as a council, I think I'd be happy to say that I support this.
Has the health department changed their stance on mask wearing versus quarantine stuff? Like, that's been some of my thing on wearing a mask is, I wear a mask to protect myself, but then if you're near somebody with it, even though you're wearing a mask, you still get quarantined. And part of that was, part of wearing the mask is you protect yourself and you keep yourself out of harm's way, and you think, I'm keeping myself out of harm's way, then someone gets COVID, and then you're quarantined for 14 days, and you say to yourself, I was wearing a mask, where I know the CDC doesn't see that, but I was in a hospital, not this one here, and they say if you're wearing a mask, we don't quarantine you here because we see that as a protection of it. And I think there's some things they could probably adjust there to make people feel better about, like, I could protect myself, I could keep myself out of quarantine. And I know the governor's done a couple of things within schools. He sent out a thing. I don't know how that's going to work because, with going against what the CDC says, but we'll see how that works going back to school. But I'm fine with the resolution. I'm fine with individually saying I support it. I think we should wear them, and I want to wear a mask to protect others. I mean, I want to protect myself, but I want to protect other people.
So, can we make a motion to support without a resolution?
Yeah, I think, again, because we're in an emergency operating procedure for COVID, you have the right to do these kinds of things under the emergency order. And I think the mayor indicated it very clearly, if it's individual support, that's what it is, individual. If you do a resolution or a motion, then it becomes a council support as a whole.
In other words, it kind of bears a little more weight if we do it as a council.
As a council.
I mean, we can support it as individual all day long, but when you do it as a council, you actually are putting a more weight in this.
I'm going to move forward and make a motion for a support of the mask advisory. Does that work?
Would you
As a council.
Okay, let's see.
I'm going to make a motion of support
No, I was about to say, I
to the
just had-
council to support the Audrain County Health Department's mask advisory. Not a resolution, just a motion of support.
I'll second that.
And I guess my question for discussion right here, since it's on the floor, is what would we see the difference between a resolution and us making a statement of support? I'm just asking because the resolution it doesn't bear anything that says it's mandatory or not.
Right, well, my understanding is, first of all, I think a resolution would have to come back, correct?
I think in these circumstances, you
Yeah,
could do
you could
either
do
or.
emergency.
So we've just left it open to your discretion.
And I think right now, people need to know that this is serious. I don't want to wait 2 weeks to push out a resolution for somebody. And I know we could do an emergency resolution, but I also feel like a lot of people would feel like that's it'd be a mandate on some people. They're not going to understand the difference, to be honest. Whereas this way, I'm just making a motion to support what they're putting out there. I'm not making our own big to-do. I'm saying, as a group, I'm making a motion as a group to support what they're saying to do.
But it's only an emergency resolution from the standpoint that we're doing it without being on the agenda and all that, right?
Right.
It's not an emergency resolution from the standpoint that something just happened and now we're,
But we're saying right now, but what Chris is saying is that we're not making a resolution, we're just doing a support statement.
And if you'd like the resolution to come back at the next meeting, we can do that also. That way it's published and it's out there.
I just feel like that we need to do more than individual support, but I'm not sure if we're ready to just go full forward with a resolution or not.
Well, normally a resolution we put on the agenda and it takes, okay. Because this all just apparently came up this afternoon. I barely read it on the email, so. I second his motion.
It's already been seconded.
I'm sorry.
Roll call. Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, now for council comments. Mr. Hay.
Nothing too exciting, just, stay safe. We want to get back. Staring into a computer, talking to children, it's not too exciting. Not that I don't like seeing their faces, and sitting in their chairs at home, but we want to get back to school, and we got to get numbers down. So wear your mask, social distance, take care of yourselves, and let's get these numbers down so we can get back to school and doing all the other activities that we like to do.
Really didn't say much during the thing, but I will say this, the holidays are, we have Thanksgiving come up, and if you just look at the way things worked out, it seemed like, especially from what I saw in our community, Halloween seems to be a big kicker. That seemed to the numbers really right after Halloween, and I'm afraid that at Thanksgiving we're going to have another surge, because I understand people want to go see their family and all that. I do too. I'm just going to say, be safe, and do the best you can in that fact. And I know some people are like, well, there's still some people saying it's not real. Well, let me just say some facts. There's not an ICU bed available anywhere near us at this point. And I've never seen the flu shut down complete ICUs and the whole, I had a friend who needed an ICU bed, had to go all the way to Overland Park, Kansas, because there's no beds here. There's an 18-person wait as of last weekend at MU. So it's a serious situation, and people need to understand, you can think whatever you want to think about if it's real, if it's not real, but the reality is we have a sickness going around that is pushing our healthcare workers and our healthcare system to the brink. And so anything you can do as a person to try and alleviate that, I strongly hope that you do.
Well, first of all, I wish our mayor a happy birthday. And I'd sing to you, but I can't sing worth a darn. I listened to you, Bruce, on the radio this week for a few minutes, and you were talking about the campaign signs and our ordinance about campaign signs. And I noticed we still have quite a number up in the community. I was wondering if you might just take a second to sort of go over that a minute again.
Certainly. Our city code basically states that 7 days following election, as far as the time frame for removal of campaign signs. Campaign signs are basically considered temporary signs, temporary advertisement, okay? The issue with the ordinance is I wished it was a little clearer after discussing it with the city attorney in regards to, because it doesn't say election day, does it mean certification? And so, in every election we always have campaign signs that stay up. And, so we always try to put out a friendly reminder, certainly, and it seems like it's always the presidential, it's always the bigger elections. And so what we were trying to say overall is, hey, it's time, election's over, go ahead and take your signs down. And now, in our particular case here, most, about city council elections, and we certify those pretty much within a week, so even those dates were still there. State elections usually get done within a couple of weeks, but federal, in this case, they have till, December to certify. So having that said, there's kind of a little bit of gray area there in regard to timing, but overall, it's time, and so we've said, please start getting those down, and we've also said if we have much more that aren't coming down, we've seen more come down, we'll start sending you a notice to say take them down. So, but we hope we don't have to get that far. We hope that everybody adheres to it and removes temporary signs, and life goes on.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Well, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has. Black Friday is this week. Shop local and be safe.
Mr. Slade?
I have nothing else, sure.
I just want to say the same. Thank you. I've had several birthday wishes today, and so I'm very grateful for those. I do encourage, I hope that we do get to see maybe a resolution come forth, at least for people to look over or see what our constituents want to do as far as the faith, and I'm glad that we were able to show our support tonight. I think that's very important to our constituents, seeing that we do support what is in the best interest of our constituents' health and safety, because like we said, we want to I want to have people going and shopping on Black Friday and seeing Mexico thrive during the holiday season, and people getting to enjoy themselves as much as humanly possible. That's the main thing, is happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Remain safe. Spend time with loved ones. And at this time, we'd have to have, if there's any public comments, that you can come forth at this time. Keep your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address. Seeing there's none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Haig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.